What is up, guys? I just got back from Coachella weekend 1, and here are my thoughts on the overall experience. This is actually my third time going to Coachella. I've gone back to back ever since 2024. I've only camped, so I'll only be able to speak on the camping portion of it. This year the camping was a little different. The biggest thing I'll say is they added 2 entrances for the car camping lots. They broke off the line, started a new line, and just started to funnel us forward instead of turning into the actual car camp lot. Now, this caused a lot of confusion, and there was no cones, there was no signage, there was no second set of like traffic controllers to tell us where to keep going. It felt like they had just kicked us out of line. We were so confused. We're like, what's going on? Everybody ended up U-turning, so we basically went from the front of the line, about to go into the entrance, all the way back to the end of the line to basically start all over again. That little mistake costed us probably 4 or 5 extra hours of waiting in the security line. Not one person said, hey, we're gonna throw you guys in another line, but keep going all the way, because there's going to be a second entrance. Moving on to security. If you're car camping, they go through your entire car. Any bag that you bring, anything that you've packed in your car, you're going to have to basically deassemble it, take it out of your car. Security's going to check it, and then you got to reassemble it back into your car. In the past, this has been probably the biggest joke. I mean, as you can imagine, there's thousands of cars that they've got to search through. I don't think there's enough lines, and I don't think they're checking enough cars at once. They're checking 2 cars at a time. And I honestly think they could ramp it up to 5, maybe even 10 cars at a time. We got in line around 3 in the morning, and we didn't get through security. Like, actually, like, bags checked and everything, and got the check on your car, like, you're good, until probably 7:30 in the morning. This portion of it is always going to be a nightmare. We ended up, unfortunately, getting placed on, like, the furthest lot that you can get placed. So we did have a pretty far walk from the festival, but again, it's Coachella. Expect to walk and expect to be far. As far as the bathrooms for the campsites, they're pretty disgusting. There's really no other way around it, and there's nothing more to say. A lot of people, what they would do is they would wait around until they saw the truck, and then you kind of line up behind the truck, because then you know that you're getting a freshly cleaned bathroom. So that would be the only tip that I have for you. Other than that, it's pretty disgusting. I mean, that's probably the worst part of camping and just Coachella in general are the bathrooms. I don't know if it's maybe just where we were placed in the lot, but the bathrooms did feel like they were getting cleaned less than last year. So I'm not too sure if that's just me or not. As far as the weather this year, it was hot. It wasn't as hot as it's been in the previous years, but it was still miserable. It was still really hot. The winds this year were crazy. I mean, every single night we came back and there was canopies and tents and just campsites that were completely demolished by the wind. There was even a tree that fell on somebody's car. I didn't see it happen, but I heard about it and I saw videos. And just know, again, you are at the hands of Mother Nature. If you are sleeping in a tent, I recommend you don't. I don't know. I've never slept in a tent. I do have people in my group who sleep in tents, but my personal preference is car camping, like actual sleeping in your car. I would 100% tell you to sleep in your car rather than sleeping in a tent. Moving on to the actual festival, I really feel like this year's security was super laid back. I didn't get stopped at all as far as like patting down or anything like that. You really just walk through it seems like it's like a metal detector of some sort. So this is the fanny pack that I brought in. And again, they didn't stop me to get searched. So moving on to merch, I actually didn't end up getting any merch this year. I regret it a little bit, but at the same time, I didn't really feel like there was any merch that I thought was worth the price. The lines were crazy all weekend, and I don't think they died down until things started to sell out. So if you really want to get something, I would definitely recommend going on the first day and going pretty early to hop in line. Moving on to the food, this was also another hot topic online. It's Coachella. Like, obviously the food is going to be expensive, and it's going to be mid. I also felt like there was definitely some catfishing going on with the food. The pictures did not match what the actual food looked like when it came out. I did see that people were getting sick from the pizza. I ate the pizza. I definitely didn't get sick. There was a rumor going around that the pizza was like 30 or 20 bucks a slice. It's not. It's $12 for a slice, and I won't lie, the slices are pretty big. Like you get a pretty like decent sized slice for it being $12. Now moving on to the crowd, I have only ever gone weekend one. I'm a true weekend one believer. It's just my preference, but I definitely have heard that other people prefer going weekend two because of the crowds. Honestly, the weekend one crowds are not that bad. I don't really understand what people mean. Yeah, there's a lot of famous people and there's a lot of influencers. For me, I don't mind it. I like to people watch, and I actually kind of look forward to seeing, you know, maybe I'll see some of my like favorite celebrities or creators. And I really never felt like the crowd was like more dead. I've never gone to weekend two, so I can't really compare it to anything, but in my experience, I don't feel like there's that much of a difference. The only crowd I had a problem with was honestly the Justin Bieber crowd. I don't know if you guys saw videos, but there were people fighting, there were people pushing, there were people shoving. My opinion about it is, look, you're at Coachella. You have to understand that people are gonna push, people are gonna shove, people are gonna wanna make their way to the front. I did see a lot of that going on. It was pretty tense. If you're someone who doesn't like to be pushed and shoved, I would really recommend you go to the back or something, because it's gonna happen when you're in the front. It's inevitable, and you can't really do anything about it. So getting upset and starting a fight, to me, is like super unnecessary, but that's just my opinion. Moving on to the actual artists. When the initial lineup came out, I was really, really underwhelmed. I'm glad I stuck it out, because I was even in that moment thinking of maybe selling my ticket at the time. I saw so many people that I really enjoyed. So many people were added later down the road that ended up being like some of my favorite sets. It happens every year. The lineup comes out and everyone's super upset. And then everyone sees videos and see who actually shows up, and everyone's like, oh my God, like how did I miss out? Just stick it out. Somehow I ended up making it into the Heineken house on both days. There's a really big line. You have to get there like super early, and you really have to like kind of like finesse your way in, because it's super hard to get in that stage. But if you can make it in there, I would definitely recommend going and seeing the people in there. It's a lot smaller of a crowd because there's a certain limit of how many people they let in. I saw Sean Paul and I saw Wale, and I ended up getting super close to both of them. For me, being like a more rap and R&B, I don't see it as much. The few that they throw in there, I think kind of made it worth it for me. Now moving on to the headliners. The first headliner on Friday was Sabrina Carpenter. I don't listen to her music. I wouldn't really necessarily call myself a fan of hers, but I will say that she put on a pretty decent performance. The production was there. She really put on a show, and I think, you know, being Coachella, that's kind of what it's all about. Second day was Justin Bieber. It's so funny to see all of the talk that's been going on. My opinion is, I think it made sense for Justin, and I think that it really wasn't his intention to have this huge crazy production. You know, to some artists that's not a priority for them, you know, and I think his priority was making it intimate and making it nostalgic, and, you know, really catering to his hardcore, you know, believers and people who have like stuck with him for a really long time. And I think that's who it was catered towards. So for that reason, I do think it was enjoyable. There were times where I did feel like this could use a little bit more, you know, of a production, but again, that wasn't his intention. And I think that he set out what he wanted to do, and he gave the people what they wanted. You know, he found a way to incorporate his old stuff without having to, you know, be someone who he's not anymore by like actually performing them. He did it in his way. And, you know, I think that for him and for his really true core audience, I think it was everything for them. And moving on to the last headliner, which is Karol G. The stage setup was insane. She came out like almost 40 minutes late because they were trying to get this stage and, you know, put together. I think she put on the biggest show out of the two other headliners. I just think when an artist takes it there, when an artist pulls out all the stops, and really goes out of their way to make the experience just such a enjoyable, memorable experience, like that's what Coachella is all about to me. All in all, I think all three headliners did a good job. Wrapping everything up, yes, there's moments where you suffer, obviously, especially if you're camping, car camping specifically. Yes, you're gonna suffer, and it's gonna suck. I will say one of the most important things about the whole Coachella experience is the people that you share it with. I mean, that really makes or breaks the experience. I go with some of my best friends, and every year, even though we suffer, you know, we suffer together, so it's really not that bad. All of the memories and all of the experience that we have and we share 100% outweighs the miserable shit that you got to go through. Trust me, I used to be on that boat. Before I started going to Coachella, I was one of those people where I would see videos and I would see all that stuff, and I honestly thought to myself, I don't understand how people pay all this money to put themselves through that. But as soon as I went that first year, it all made sense to me, and I understand why people do it. And now I'm one of those people. I know it's kind of a luxury to be able to go, so if you ever find yourself in the position to go, I would say I 100% recommend going. Just do it 1 year. If you absolutely hate it, don't ever do it again, but at least you can say you did it. You'll take something away from it. Whether it's seeing your favorite artist or making memories with your friends, there's something in it for everyone. And I really think to the core that's what Coachella is, and I think that's what the appeal is. Yes, you have the side of it that, you know, you see heavily with the influencers and everyone's doing it for Instagram to post it and, you know, all of that. But aside from that, people are there for the music, the community. When you're there, nothing else matters. Work, school, whatever you got going on in your life kind of just melts away. And for a weekend, all that you're focused on is who you're gonna go watch, what you're gonna wear, who you're gonna meet up with. It really kind of reminds you, hey, this is what life is actually about. It's crazy how powerful music is, and the love we have for music, that you put yourself through this crazy experience and this miserable heat and this food that's expensive and isn't even that good, but we do it every year again and again because, again, it's just, you can't get that experience anywhere else. Yeah, that's kind of all I got. If you have any other thoughts or comments, let me know down below. If there's anything that I didn't go in depth about that you want to know more about, let me know. I will probably be going next year to suffer all over again.